Welcome, my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today and welcome back to my 25 project countdown to Christmas. We started on October 27th and I'm going all the way through to December 1st. That's 5 weeks of festive fun. Each week I'm going to be featuring a different bundle. This week we've got Jolly Delivery, and from Monday to Friday I'll be sharing brand new projects to spark creativity. Expect a little bit of everything. We've got scrapbooking pages, funky folds, gift ideas, and even some home decor. Projects to make your Christmas extra special. So, if you love crafting, cozy vibes, and a sprinkle of holiday cheer, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and craft along with me as we count down to Christmas together. So, as I say, we're working on the Jolly Delivery. It has, if you haven't seen this videos or this stamp set before, we've got 16 images, 7 of which are sentiments and 9 are actual images. And we have a wonderful 13-piece die set to go along. We are on project 4 and this week or today it's one for the doggies. So my Husko, she goes out to play 3 times a week with her friends, and I thought we could create her some little gifts to give to them nearer to Christmas. So let's bring in the supplies and I can show you what we've got. So the first thing I've got is a sealed bag, which is 5 by 5. You can get these in any sort of hobby craft shop or on the internet. Mine are 5 by 5 because that's the size of the chews that I have purchased. And literally I'm just going to pop them in side by side and do it this way because it makes my life just a little easier, and then I will introduce you to the rest of the supplies I have not forgotten. So these have been test tried by both my Husky and Bella and our little boots, so I know that the chews are of good standard, good working standard. Right, so there we are. I've got 8 in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off the strip and fold it over onto our chews like so. What you can do is, I've got a little bit of sellotape, she says crashing it. I'm going to take a little bit of sellotape and I'm just going to taper the edges. So just at the top, it won't show through, so don't worry, because obviously it's the bit we're covering. A little bit more here. And just do it that way as well. There we go. So that is, as I say, 5 by 5 with 8 chews. So I've also got a piece of garden green. Now this measures 3 inches by 4 3/4, and I'll score that in a second. I have a 2 3/8 inch circle and a 2 1/4 circle for the front. I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. The first is 3/4 inch by 4 3/4, and then the larger of the two is 1 inch by 4 3/4. So the first thing I need to do is to score this. So let's bring in my scoreboard. Okay, so on the 3 inch side, we are going to score at 1 inch and 1 3/4 inches. Okay, and that's all we need to do score wise. Pop the board away and then we can burnish the folds. We got 1 and then we've got 2. And what you will find is one is slightly larger than the other, and the larger size is the side that goes at the back, and that is where our largest piece of designer series paper goes. So that's the 1 inch, and it goes all the way up to the edges, but it gives you a border top and bottom. And I'm just going to add my stamp and seal to make that a little easier. Of course, you can always use glue should you wish to. Okay, so that will go on the back like that. You've got this bit that sits on the top. So what I want to do now is make sure I've got it the right way round, which I have, and then I can pop this piece, which is my 3/4 of an inch, onto there as well. 1, oops, hello, 2, and then that will go into here. Okay, so the thing I need to do now is I need to put tear and tape on the back section and the middle section. So the front section will, actually no, we'll put it on all three. We're going to cover it with tear and tape. So let's do it. 1, 2, 1 in the middle. Oh, sounds like somebody's come home. Either that or Bella can sniff. What can she sniff? She can sniff treats. Let's have a quick look out the window. Yes, my husband is home, so they will be quiet in a second. Right, okay, so let's bring this in. So this is the back panel, and it will go... What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over this section here. This is where the flap is. So I'm literally going to take off the backing, 1 and 2, and the middle section, and then I'm just going to pop that into place. So just going to lay it over, making sure that the top is level, and then I'm going to bring that onto the top like so, and then we can take the other 2 off. Oh dear, do you animals get this excited? They'll be quiet in a second because my husband will go to the special cupboard where there is a biscuit, and then they will hush because their mouths will be full. So there is, I didn't put that on very straight, did I? Let's try that again. I think it's because the chews are a little bit wonky. There we go, perfect. So that's the initial thing sorted. I suppose if you wanted to, you could put some designer series paper on top of there. But I've left it for the moment. So the next thing to do is to bring in those circles. So on your white circle, we can stamp a early espresso special delivery. So that's from the Jolly Delivery stamp set. Sorry, I meant to say that the designer series paper that I've used is also from the same set. Then I've got this lovely little doggy who's going to sit on here. There are, of course, all the other images that you could put on. So if the treat was for a cat, you could put a cat on. I doubt you're going to be giving a treat to a badger or a bear that they will want to unwrap. But there's always those 2 options. We've got letters and the postbox. But for this purpose, I figured that these were the best. Right, so I'm going to glue that onto there. Like so. Now we can colour these in. So the colours I've got pen wise is I have got, let's have a look at this one. This one is dark strawberry slush. So that's going to be for my letter. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Then I have got the dark pecan pie for my little dog's nose, his ears, his feet. There we go. And then I have got the light pecan pie, and that is for his, let's use the other side, to be more precise with that one. So that is for his face and the rest of his body. There he is, isn't he gorgeous? Perfect. I have a light old olive for the collar of his jacket. There we go. And I have the dark old olive for the rest of his coat. There we go. Now normally I pull out another circle that I have completed, but I haven't done it this week. What I have done is I have coloured him already in, but I have got the die and I've cutting him out. So I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on him. So I'm going to have one on his head. And we're going to have body all the way there. And then that can slip onto the top here. Right, so do you know what I'm going to do? Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go around the outside. Oh, now has this ever happened to you? The inside of your pen has come down. Just slip it in, pop it back on, and it will, oh, she says, come out. There we go. Look at that. No problems. Already sorted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the outside of the dog. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my dark pecan, because what I've decided is that way it just shows, if it's going to show slightly, it's going to always be the edge, isn't it, that's going to show through. There we go. Perfect. Right, now I can put my little doggy on. There we go. Turn him round. And then he will just simply sit over the top of our little dog. And he's got 3D. Look at that. Isn't he cute? So the easiest thing to do is to then get a piece of Stamp and Seal or tear and tape and just put some glue at the top. So I'm going to do that. Let's make sure I've got it the right way around. Yes, I'm going to do a bit there and a bit there. There we go. Make sure that these bits are folded over. Perfect. Whoa! And then that will fit onto there like so. And then I've got one more treat bag sorted. Look at that. So brilliant. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed those. I'm really liking those. So join us tomorrow for our last project in this week's stamp set of the week, Jolly Delivery, and our 5th project and final project for this week for our 25 project countdown to Christmas. Thanks ever so much, everybody. Take care. Bye.